guys, it's Jedi Joey. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we are now going to, as we've entered 2025, we got a new Star Wars show that just finished. So it's time to rank all Star Wars live action shows from the worst to the best. So this will be a tier ranking. So you have the worst, and then you have the best, right? So we'll go from worst to mid to good to great. Alright, so if you guys love my Star Wars content, make sure you hit that nice like, share, and subscribe. Share it with your friends so you never miss out on anytime we post, and also turn on your notifications so you never miss out on whenever we post a video. But hit that like button. It shows the algorithm that you're liking my content. It pushes me out in the algorithm. It'll be greatly appreciated. But also, we're trying to hit 2K before part 3 for Cobra Kai, so let's get this rolling. So we want to get that 2K. We want to get awesome stuff. We're playing that basketball, right? 2K, woo, shooting hoops. No, I'm just kidding. We're talking about getting followers, not the game, but it's all good. But so I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and while a certain show took me out of Star Wars, Skeleton Crew has refined my love of Star Wars. So now we can talk about the good, the bad, and the awesome. Now, live action Star Wars, under Disney's rule, Star Wars has not had a great rep. Now, one day we'll rank all Star Wars shows, not just live action and animated. We'll blend the live action and animated. But, as Aragorn says in Lord of the Rings, it is not this day. This day, we rank only live action. Sorry, there will be a clip in there somewhere. You'll see it. But I just had to give my Aragorn speech for you guys so you knew what was going on. So I'm also a huge Lord of the Rings fan. But it is not this day. This day, we talk about Star Wars. Alright, so as you know, when we get down to the worst of things, it's not surprising, and I'm not going to ramble too hard on this one. At number 7 on our list, we have The Acolyte. Do I really have to explain this one? Do I really? It's The Acolyte, okay? What more can I say? This show nearly fundamentally destroyed Star Wars. Saying there wouldn't be cameos in it, then we got Yoda and they nearly tried to screw us over. The writing was terrible. They thought that the fans, they tried to alienate its own fans by telling us that we didn't like women in Star Wars. Women in Star Wars have existed for generations and we've loved them previously. Padme, Princess Leia, Ahsoka Tano. There's great characters that we love. Asajj Ventress. But the Acolyte's like, oh, you don't like my show because you don't like women. No, we like good written women. Not this nonsense. So, The Acolyte was terrible. It was trash. It was fundamentally worse than Last Jedi, the most horrible Star Wars project ever made. While it did have good lightsaber choreography, its storytelling sucked, and its message sucked. And we need to be done with all this High Republic garbage. I don't care about the High Republic Star Wars stuff, and I don't want to care about it. So that's my view on The Acolyte is the worst single-handed Star Wars show. Now, what is our runner-up worst one? Next up, we got to go Book of Boba Fett. Now, I had a lot of passion and a lot of love for this show. But unfortunately, Boba Fett, otherwise known as Beta Fett, disappointed. There's great memes like a Bantha in here. We got the live-action introduction to Cad Bane, which is cool. But we never get to see Boba Fett be the awesome Boba Fett from the original trilogy or from even Mando Season 2. So, yeah, I really was disappointed with this one because it was weird. We had weird, 80s, 90s in a bad way, Speeder Kid Gang, Spy Kids meets crappy Power Rangers we didn't need in a Star Wars show. And it just was not needed. It was not necessary. It was lame. And how they treated Boba Fett in his own show was lame. And the best episode of his show is when Mando came and stole his story to show his struggle with the Darksaber. That wasn't very good. So I personally just was disappointed with this show. I'm sad it's this low, but unfortunately Boba Fett's show was not good. He worked better as a side character. I hope one day we get a Book of Boba Fett Season 2, or just give him a part in a series, something where we can redeem his character, because this show did not do a very good job with that, and I was very disappointed, honestly. But now, coming in at number, so that's that. But now coming in, I mean, the scenes with Luke and Grogu were good too. But now, coming in at number 5 on our list, so now we've headed into our, coming in at number 5 on our list, we have the Obi-Wan show. Look, now you might think, top 5, this show can't be that bad, right? Well, so now we're in the top 5, okay? And we're doing pros and cons of this, so the first 2 on the list were our worst. This is our mid project. The Obi-Wan show had a lot of promise and a lot of hype for the prequel fans. But messing with the canon, created lame characters, and ruining some of our favorite characters is what holds this show back. You might be like, it's in the top 5. You must actually like it. There's aspects I like. Some of the lightsaber choreography is nice. The storytelling is all over the place. I'm not a fan of the creation of Reva, how they use the Inquisitors. The mistreat of the Grand Inquisitor is not good. Vader and Obi-Wan should have never faced off in the show. You should have just had Anakin kind of be a ghost to Obi-Wan and kind of drive him mad and do more post-traumatic stress stuff. Anakin and Vader and Obi-Wan fighting in this show is a huge mistake. While the fights are cool, it does not serve the narrative the way it should. There's much better ways. You could have brought in Maul. You could have done anything else. But my pros here are love McGregor, love some of the stuff with Hayden we get, especially the flashback stuff, and I just love young Leia. But I will be honest, Ewan McGregor deserves better, and he better get it in the next. He better get it in an Obi-Wan Season 2 or in Ahsoka Season 2 like we're hearing rumors of, because I really think that there's a lot more here to love that could be done properly. I really think. I really think they can do so much better here, and I think there's a lot more potential for what that looks like. I really do. But see, that's one of my problems is bad writing. Reva knowing where Luke is causes major canon issues, and Disney with their canon are all over the place. So that's why the Obi-Wan show is at number 5, but still not the very strongest on our list. It's not in our top 3, which means it's not one of the best, but it's also not one of the worst, but it isn't one of the greatest either. All right, coming in on our next one, we have in the number 4 spot. Now, this might be one that people take issues with because they like the show a lot. We have Andor at number 4. Okay, now look, I know a lot of people loved Andor, and a lot of people, this is their jam. They loved it was different from Star Wars because it was a nice breath of fresh air. I loved Rogue One. I love these characters. The story moved slow for me. It started out really promising. And when you release these episodes at 2 a.m., you just get tired. And I don't like the treatment of the Empire in this show, because they really just made the Empire look like a bunch of whiny bitches. And there was no Tarkin, no Thrawn here, nothing to really keep my interest. There was some interesting fight sequences at some points during the episodes, but not enough. Andor is a great character, but he doesn't really serve the narrative of this show. Just didn't work for me personally. There was some good stuff here, some good writing, but didn't quite have that feeling of Star Wars. It wasn't my type of show personally. Cool Easter eggs, but they didn't go anywhere. Great action sometimes, but slow pacing. But overall, I enjoyed it. That's why I put it at number 4. Not my most enjoyed Star Wars series, but pretty good. Now, as a return to form for Star Wars, we got to talk about Skeleton Crew. Skeleton Crew is our 3rd best show on this list, because Skeleton Crew showed us, it just redefined what we love about Star Wars. It made us remind me of a kid. We got to love space pirate adventure, a new side of Star Wars, bringing in Jedi elements, but not overdoing it and wasting the Jedi like the Acolyte did. I really enjoyed this show. It was after the Acolyte, it was a breath of fresh air. All the new characters are great. I want to spend more time with them. John Watts, Spider-Man director, did a brilliant job with it. It was fun. The characters were great. The storylines were very consistent and a very through-line, amazing, fun show, which is why it gets the number 3 spot on the list. Coming in at number 2 on the list, we have Ahsoka. Now, a lot of people had issues with Ahsoka because we had Thrawn and we had Ezra, and they all kind of acted kind of goofy. And if you enjoyed Rebels, this is a really good sequel series to Rebels. I feel it does its job pretty well. The lightsaber choreography is pretty great at times. The storytelling is pretty great at times, except for when it comes to the Thrawn stuff. But what I will tell you is one of my biggest issues with it, well, my highlights here are the new characters of Shin, Hati, and, of course, our boy Baylan Skoll. Rest in peace, Ray Stevenson. Baylan stole the show for me. I mean, the way that they utilized him here, I actually enjoyed Ezra as well. The whole zombie stuff was interesting. The Night Sister stuff, it was super cool to watch Morgan Elsbeth be a badass and show off her, since she is the granddaughter of Bruce Lee, seeing her whoop ass on Ahsoka was pretty kick-ass, and I loved it. I loved some of the fight scenes. I loved the lightsaber combat. I loved Baylan Skoll, and I loved how they left his character, and I'm super excited now that we have Roy McCann, who is going to replace him in Season 2. Ahsoka Season 2 is easily one of my most anticipated 2025 Star Wars projects, and Ahsoka Season 1 being so good, I think, is a testament of that. I really do. I really enjoyed this series. Barely little issues. One of my biggest issues was Sabine and how they handled Thrawn and Ezra. But other than that, I thought it was pretty solid. Now, coming in at that's our runner-up. But our number one on the list is obviously The Mandalorian. Look, Mando Season 3 still sucked balls, and it was a mistake. But Mando Season 1, we came out at a time when Star Wars was hurting bad from Last Jedi and from the beginning of Rise of Skywalker. But it was bringing the fans back because it reminded us, oh, nice, cool bounty hunter going on a cool adventure. And then, you had that Lone Wolf and Cub storyline with introducing Grogu and great characters like Taika Waititi voicing IG-11. Super fun stuff here. The first season gave a much more Western vibe to it. The second season introduced a bit of samurai vibes as well as, more of that Western classic bounty hunter stuff. And they used cameos with purpose. Bo-Katan became a great character for the series. The way that they got that brilliant Luke Skywalker cameo after the sequels ruined it. It was amazing to see Luke. How he was utilized was brilliant. Moff Gideon is a great villain for this show, and how they do the Imperial Remnant is fantastic. So I love The Mandalorian. That's why it's number one. This is my live-action Star Wars ranking. What did you think about it? Do you agree with my list? Remember, this might not be the right list, but it is my list, and I'd love to know yours. So let me know your list in the comments below, and as always, I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching.
Wow!